Hey guys, I'm T, and this is Cooper, and this is from Prison to Reform. So today I have some of the messiest stories from TikTok. So these stories are pretty crazy. I hope you guys enjoy them like I did. Let me know your thoughts down below. But before I start the video, please like and subscribe, turn on your notifications so we don't miss any more uploads from me. And Cooper looks like a little homeless dog because I had to shave some of his fur off. Normally I take him in, but I couldn't find anyone to get him in, so I just went to Petco and got some of my own tools and shaved him. So yeah, and I'm no dog groomer, but I asked him if he was going to give me a good review, because he wasn't too happy with me. He still has not gone back to me about the review, so hopefully it's a good one. But yeah, so, yeah, let's get into the video.
Just fucking head down like fucking... So, story time on how I whooped a bitch's ass in 6th grade for talking shit and making up a bunch of fake rumors about me and my friend group. So I whooped her ass, dragged her down the stairs, and put her head in a fucking toilet. Okay, before starting these rumors up about me, yes, this was in 6th grade. This was years ago. Don't think this is a flex, because it's not. And don't be on my dick about this shit, alright? And this story time was a request by Naomi, who told me, how did this ghetto phase start? So let me tell you, this was my first ever fight, and girl, this started my entire ghetto phase. So let me tell you exactly how this shit went down. Okay, so this girl, let's give you a little background information on this girl. Her name will be like Hairbrush. Okay, so in 6th grade I was fresh out of elementary school, and the only friend group I had were my friends from elementary, obviously. So I stuck with them, and we were a whole friend group, and we always stayed together. We were tight like this. But this one girl, they met her in like, I guess, one of their classes, and they just started bringing her around the friend group. And I didn't know her because I was in gifted magnet classes, and they were regular classes, so I didn't know who she was. But like, low-key, the more she started hanging out with us, the more iffy I got about her, because she was just mad weird, and like she always tried acting like she always tried to act like she was a shit when she wasn't. Like, low-key, back then I used to be mad aggressive with everybody. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I was just doing my own thing. Obviously, like, my friend group went through like a lot of trauma. Like, they have their own personal experiences that obviously I'm not going to state in this video, but you could tell like they have trauma and they've been through like a lot of shit with people, you know? Which was crazy because we're only in 6th grade at this point. Mind you, 6th grade. And before this, we used to share like all this shit with her. Before we got close to her, like we used to tell her like our personal shit, like just so she would know. But she would always give like this off feeling. She would always be like, oh, like she looked like very like uncomfortable when we talked about it, because she like basically just doesn't know how to handle that experience or whatever. That's literally what she said at one point. And then as soon as like she starts hanging out with our friend group more and more and more, it's like getting to like the end of the school year, right? And I'm still like, so at this point I'm still like, I'm more iffy than I was before. Like, I don't know, I did not like this girl. I did not like her. I did not want to be near her. I didn't want to be her friend. But obviously, I felt bad, like, defriending someone like that, especially if they're part of a friend group and she only talks to us. So I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll suck it up for this year. That was until she started saying lies. Like, she started saying that she started becoming all suicidal, talking about, like, just, like, randomly trauma dumping and basically taking our stories and making them her own. Like, if I were to say, like, fucking, my dog died, she'll be like, oh, yeah, my dog died. Like, if I were to say, like, my dad left, her dad left. Because one time she told us that her brother killed himself, and we were literally comforting her, watching her cry, and we were like literally comforting her. We'll walk you to the gate because she was like about to get picked up by her parents, and we're like, oh, we'll go walk you to your gate because we already seen your parents, like, you know, we'll go walk you. And she was like, oh, no, don't come. And we were just like, okay, but that's kind of weird, you know, because we always walk her. And lo and behold, it's her fucking brother. she only has one brother, and she told us this, like, she only has one brother, and that's the brother that killed himself. So what the fuck is your brother doing there? Plus, we've seen his face before. Like, even when she was caught in those fucking lies, like, she never stopped, like, ever. Like, she lied so much, it was just insane. And we caught on to everything, we just didn't want to say anything because she was our friend, you know. And then I remember, I forgot what happened, but I heard a rumor about me and my friends, and I kid you not, I forgot what this rumor was, but the person that told me it came from her. And that's when I got all mad, and I was so pressed. I was just like, bro, like, I'm like trying to be the nicest person to you, even though I don't fucking like you, and you're over here talking shit, you know? I had enough of like all of that shit, and I went up to her, like, in the after school program. I went up to her and I was just like, bro, I was like, okay, so what's up? Like, you're over here talking shit about me, and I'm trying to be a good friend to you, but you're really getting on my nerves. I was like, you gonna admit that shit to my face, or are we gonna fight this shit out? Like, you know? Mind you, I was in 6th grade. I had no hands. I had no squabbles. I had no nothing. I just had aggression, bro. And she's denying. And then I finally get her to admit that shit to me. And I was like, okay, so then what's up? Like, you know, I was like, okay, so then what's up? Like, you want to talk shit so bad. I'm here now. I'm in your face. So let's fight. And she was like, I'm not going to fight you. Like, da-da-da-da-da. There's like a balcony. And there's stairs going down. And it's kind of like hidden in a way. And I kid you not, like, I was arguing with her in her face. My friends were downstairs watching me, like, recording this shit. And I was like, okay, so what's up? I throw a shitty ass it landed though. That's all that matters. It landed. I was like, and she, like, kind of, like, backed away. And then I grabbed her by her hair. I, like, yanked her down. And she kind of, like, fell on her knees. Like, I literally, kid you not, grabbed her. And I started dragging her down the stairs, and she was fucking head down, like, fucking, and I was beating her ass. And then, like, next to the auditorium there's restrooms, so then I started beating her in her fucking shit, bro. And then, like, I dragged her to the restroom, and then kid you not, low-key my friends jumped in. Like, they started jumping. They're like, so anyways, she's on the ground, we're beating her at, hold up, we started jumping her in the restroom where, like, no staff was looking. And then after that, I told her, like, you gonna keep talking shit or what? And she was just like, at this point, I think she was, like, crying or something. She was, like, crying or whatever. And I was just like, no, you wanted to talk shit, da 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 da. I was so mad. Like, I don't even know how I even got this mad. And then I dragged her up. I made her sit up because she was, like, laying on the floor. And I grabbed her by her hair and I made her sit up. And then after that, I put her head, like, her whole body against the fucking toilet. And I was shoving her head. And I was just like, say that shit one more time. I was yelling, bro. I was like, say that shit one more. And at this point, like, I think my friends felt bad. And low-key, like, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. Like, I was just crashing out. And they, like, pulled me off of her. And then, like, after that, she just, like, left the restroom. And that's how I whooped her, basically. Low-key, like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but right after that, like, she went home, and I literally did not hear from her, like, after that, like, just silence. But if that's all you gotta do to shut a bitch up, then yes, I am sorry about everything that I did. But you know what, like, sometimes bitches have to get what they deserve. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my story times. Bye, guys.
Get ready with me while I talk about the drama with my ex-best friend that eventually led to me getting kicked off the track team for being too messy. Okay, this was, like, such middle school drama because this was in middle school. We had been friends for, like, we had been best friends for, like, 2 years. I was in 8th grade and she was in 7th grade. We used to be, like, super, like, locked in, like, close friends. Like, I would go to her house, like, almost every single day, and we would have a sleepover almost every single weekend. Like, we were that close, and, like, oh my god. And, like, in middle school, I was very aggressive and just messy. I was just a very messy person. And, like, I was aggressive, I was rude, I was mean. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, sometimes I still am now, but I was, like, a genuine, like, crash out in middle school. Which is not a flex at all, but that's just how I was. I don't know, I just had really bad anger issues, so just keep that in mind. So this girl was, like, we were both, like, the same. Not a lot of people, like, really liked us or whatever. And, like, I had a lot of drama going on in middle school, and she did too, because I feel like it's middle school. It's not middle school without all the unnecessary drama, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, she was a part of this really, like, big friend group. You know, like, those fake-ass friend group type shit? Like, where they were all just, like, get together, make TikToks and stuff, and then talk shit about each other later. Yeah, so she was, like, a part of that. And, like, every time she would beef with someone, I would, like, back her up. Because people thought I would, like, people were scared of me. Like, they were like, oh my god, Kim's gonna beat me up. Baby, I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But they would be like, I don't know. And they would, like, get their shit together real quick if I got involved. And she was, like... I don't know, every time she got into drama, like, I would, like, back her up, you know, because that's my homegirl, that's my best friend, of course I'm gonna back her up. And one day, she was, liking this guy that she wasn't supposed to like, because her friend had dated. It was just so messy. Like, this friend group just dates everyone. It's like, you know, like, Embry, Presley, Ren, and all of them, it's like, where they just date each other consistently, like, that same friend group, they're just passed around. Yeah, it's the same with, like, that in, like, middle school. No hate to, like, Embry and Presley and all of them. And, like, Brennan and stuff. But it's, like, they just date each other. And, I mean, they're all fine, so I get it. Like, if you're, like... Okay, I'm just gonna stop right there. Don't hate on me, because I'm not hating. Okay, I'm not hating. I'm just saying. But, yeah, she was, like, liking this one guy that her friend was currently dating. And she was, like, oh, stuff like that. And I was like, girl, if they're having problems, just leave it. And if... Don't go for him now. Don't go for him now. Wait till they break up. That's what I said. And obviously, they all found out that she was crushing on him, so they all got, like, mad. And then there was, like, more drama, don't really care, didn't really listen to her. It's just too much. And I remember she said something about me. She was like, oh, if you do that... I don't even remember. It was 2 years ago. But she said something about me to her friend, and I was like, why are you saying all this about me? Like, you're literally lying to my face. And she was saying... And she was like, okay, I'm sorry. And I was like, it's fine. I don't really care. Like, you're my homegirl. It's fine. And then she started lying to me about some other girl. She was like, oh, yeah, she's saying this and this and this about you. I confront her, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? If you have a problem with me, let me know to my face. Don't talk about me behind my back. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but this girl's talking bad about you behind your back. So I was like, what? It was just so messy, you know? So then I confronted my best friend. I was like, hey... Sorry. Then I confronted her. I was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, this girl's saying this about you. And she was like, that's not true at all. And obviously, that's my best friend. So I'm gonna believe her over that other girl I don't fucking like. So she was like, no, on God. Like, on God, it's like, stuff like that. That it's not true. And I was like, okay, I believe you. I'm not religious, so even if and she's super religious. I'm not religious, so I don't put stuff on God. Like, I don't do that. But she's, like, super religious, so she only puts, like, you're only supposed to put stuff on God when, like, you're genuinely not lying. And even then, I don't think you're supposed to. So I was just like, okay, I think she's telling the truth, because it's, like, a big deal to say, like, on God. At least, like, to her it is. Like, that's what she said. So I was like, okay, I believe you. But then another, like, a couple of her other friends who don't fucking like her anymore came up to me, and they were like, oh, she's saying this and this and this about you, and she's just lying consistently. Like, she's doing this, she's doing that. She's being messy. So I was like, girl. Obviously, I defended her. I was like, no, she isn't. Like, that's my homegirl. Like, I don't know what y'all are on about. And then I asked her, I confronted her about it. I was like, hey, girl, like, they're accusing you of doing this. If you did it, let me know. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna defend you either way. She was like, no, on God, I didn't do it. On God, I didn't do it. And then I was like, okay, I believe you. And then I found out, literally screenshots, receipts, everything. I got like, everything you can think of got sent to me about her. So I was like, girl, why is you lying on God? So I just stopped talking to her. I was like, girl, you need to get your shit together, because I'm not trying to be a part of all that. Like, no. And she just kept consistently lying and putting everything on God. Even though, like, you've been caught in the act, babe. Just stop lying. Like, stop digging a hole. You're already in a hole. Stop digging if you want to get out of it. So I just stopped talking to her, and she was like, what did I even do? That's not my fault. And I was just, like, ignoring her. And then, like I would just still talk to her at school, but, like, I wouldn't really, like, respond to her messages and stuff. And then one day she, like, went over the top, and she said something about someone that I'm friends with. So I was just, like, I just ignored her at school, and then she started, like, yelling at me in the freaking, like, line to get on the bus. She's like, what did I do? Like, why are you mad at me? I didn't do anything. I was like, if you want to get slapped in your fucking face, get the fuck out of my face. And she was like, whatever. And she walked away, and I was like, girl, who is you? Anyways, after that, I just stopped talking about her, and she would just consistently just talk about me non-stop. She was like, oh, she's so ugly, she's so annoying, stuff like that. And she got, like, her whole friend group to hate on me. So I was just like, whatever, I'm, like, a whole year ahead of you. Fuck out of my fucking face. Mind you, they would just do this behind my back. The second I'm, like, in, like, if I see them in the hallway, I'm walking this way, I'm staring them down, like, the fuck? They would look down, head down, looking at the lockers, like, girl, keep that same fucking energy. If you're gonna talk shit about me, keep that same energy if you see me in person. Like, can we keep it a buck? But anyways, like, that just really pissed me off. So obviously, as one does, I started posting about it on my private story on Snapchat. I forget she's on my private story. So She's freaking screen recording everything, screenshots and everything. And she's confronting me about it. She's like, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, stuff like that. Like, I don't even know. And I was like, girl, shut up. Go get braces, go fix your teeth. I can't be talking about my teeth, about other people's teeth, because mine are low-key kind of crooked too, but I don't give a fuck. Hers were messed up. So I was like, girl, your teeth are social distancing and they're overcrowded, okay? It's like an over fucking population in your fucking mouth. Get the fuck out of my fucking... Sorry, I cussed way too much. I was like, get out of my face. And she was like, screenshot. And I was like, I'm not scared. I'm saying what I said what I said. I would say it to your face. I will say it again. I don't care. But, like, my middle school, it's like, they're very, like, uptight, like, up your ass. Like, once one person says it becomes, like, a whole thing. And they're like, bullying. Like, it was friendly fire, okay? She was talking about, oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you're so unathletic. Girl, I run faster than you. I ran track. I ran cross country. I played basketball. I don't know about you, but I'm athletic. Anyways, I'm running out of time, so I just be yapping yap. I don't know. If y'all want to hear part 2, let me know. Because I can't even lie, I'm a very messy freaking person. Like, what? Anyways, if any of y'all cared and stay to the end of the freaking video, let me know if y'all want to hear part 2. Okay? Part 2 of the drama with my ex-best friend that got me kicked off the track team. Anyways, right where I left off, I was like, we were arguing back and forth, okay? She was popping up with my story. She was saying, oh, like, why are you saying... I don't even know. This was 2 years ago. I don't remember much. Neither do I care. So I'm just gonna say what I remember happened. She was steady talking about, like, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, stuff like that. She was like, oh, this is crazy, screenshots. And she was just taking screenshots, screen recordings, and just not even... I was like, girl, I don't care. And I was like, you're big, beefy Bertha for a fucking reason. Like, God. She was a little bit on the bigger side back then. Not really, but whatever. Like, if we're gonna go tit for tat, and especially after the stuff that she said about me, if we're gonna go tit for tat, I'm gonna go as low as humanly possible. Okay? I'm gonna go as low as humanly possible. And do I care? No! So she goes ahead and sends it to the principal, stuff like that. Mind you, she can't even use that stuff against me. I didn't say her name. I didn't say who she was. I was just like, so-and-so, and everyone knew because whatever. And everyone was eating, like, the whole school saw it. They were all eating it up. It was not really private. It was, like, private, but, like, not really private, you know? Story. And everyone was eating it up. And they were like, oop. And then literally the next day, I'm on the bus sitting with my other friends, and she gets on because, yeah, we rode the same bus. And then she gets on the bus, too. She's on FaceTime. I don't know who with. I don't even care. But she keeps pointing the camera towards me and was, like, whispering into the, like, fucking microphone. Guys, I'm starting my no cussing streak now. Anyways, she was, like, whispering into the microphone and stuff, and she was, like, pointing the camera at me. I was like, girl, if you want to say something to my face, and say it to my face. Stop pointing the camera at me. You're not cool. You're not cute. She's like, I'm not even doing anything. What are you talking about? Clearly you are, because I'm in the screen. I'm in the little box thingy on the top, where you can clearly see that I'm in the frame. And then, like, oh my God. Her mom texts the principal talking about, oh, they were ganging up on her at the bus stop. Girl, your daughter is literally Bigfoot. She could sit on me if she wanted to. Don't play. Ain't nobody bullying your daughter. And then people were starting to hate her at the time, I'm pretty sure, because the guy that she liked made, like, a video dissing her. I think I have it saved somewhere. So, I know she's watching this. If you want me to pull it up, I can. Because I remember damn well. Anyways, there was a video he made, like, dissing her, so everyone, like, started to, like, hate her at the time. But that was, like, after everything happened. But yeah, she snitched. They were like, oh, she's bullying me. They did a whole investigation, you know, like they always do. And it was like, it's not bullying. It was friendly fire. Stay away from me. And yeah, that was that. And then I was like, I ran track, right? I did hurdles. And I was damn good at it too. I was always like top 3. Okay? And the principal was like, oh, you gotta kick her off. My coach was like, bruh, she's like one of our best girls. I was a second away from beating the school record, mind you. But I guess I couldn't beat it that year because I got kicked off because the principal literally hated me. I don't care what you say. Yeah, I don't like that principal. I still see her to this day. So I'm just being fake because, like, I'm in your school. I'm gonna respect you because I'm in your, like, vicinity or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be disrespectful, you know? But that don't mean I like you. There was some more dumb ass stuff that happened, but I don't really remember it because, again, she's so irrelevant and it was 2 years ago. So I don't remember anything after, like, a year. But you know what's funny is I got kicked off for, like, calling her names and stuff. But, you know, I went to grippy sock vacation because, like, I was a little mentally unstable in middle school, if you can't already tell. I went to grippy sock vacation. She was talking so much stuff about that. She was like, she should have just done it. She should have just offed herself. Like, it would have made the world a better place. I was like, girl, I know damn well you didn't just say that. So obviously I'm gonna go off on her. Like, who wouldn't? I'm not gonna sit there and let her disrespect me like that. And I told my coach, I was like, you can't kick me off. It's fresh. She started it first. It's friendly fire. My coach was like, I can't do nothing about it. Next time, just don't say anything. So, damn. I learned my lesson. Don't beef till after season. But on the more recent note, here's a couple stuff that happened recently because she's weird. On one of my TikToks a couple months ago, it was like, something about me being like clean for like a couple years. It was like, I worked so hard to be here, stuff like that. I'm clean now. Like, she commented, we're so proud of you, Kim. Girl, if you don't get the frick off my freaking page, like you weren't just talking bad about me a couple years ago. Like, I know dang well. So I look at her comment, I'm like, the frick? And I block her because you're not gonna piss me off on my cellular device. What am I gonna tell you? Like, I'm gonna block whoever I want to. I don't care. Like, I be hitting the block button so fast. Not fast enough for guys, but fast. I was at the mall with Jack a couple weeks ago. If y'all watch my videos, you'll know who Jack is. Anyways, I was at the mall with Jack. So we were on a freaking, like, little, like, shopping date because I need to go shopping. And I saw her. She was with a group of her friends. I hate those friends, mind you. If you see this video, I don't like you. I never have. I'm not gonna add you back on Snap. Stop pretending to be my friend. Stop being fake. I don't like you. Okay? Let's keep it a buck. Anyways, we were walking to Barnes & Noble's because I wanted to go get a book. And I see her right outside of Barnes & Noble's. I didn't even recognize her at first. I was just like, oh. And I look back at Jack. And then I hear someone scream like, oh my god, it's Kim. She's like, oh my god, it's Kim. And then she like runs into Barnes & Noble's. And all her friends start laughing and following her. And I'm like, oh my god. And then Jack was like, oh my god, who is that? I was like, wouldn't you like to know, mother boy? So obviously I just leave it. Like, it's been 2 years. You're so irrelevant to me. Like, we didn't even go to the same school anymore. Like, I don't care about you. I really don't. And then I went to Barnes & Noble's. We sit in the corner of the store, mind you. We're sitting in the corner of the store, like, behind a bunch of bookshelves, just talking. Her and her friends keep, like, walking around us. So, like, we're sitting here, and her friends are just, like, walking, pacing back and forth and giggling to themselves. Like, you're not funny. You're not funny. And they were, like, whispering stuff at me, like, or to each other. And I was like, oh my god, whatever. Eventually, they leave. But they were there for, like, a good 30 minutes, just freaking, like, pacing back and forth, looking at us and giggling. Like, see how I'm on a whole ass date, and you're doing all this? Anyways, the date ended well, I think. Don't remember, don't really care. Anyways, we go to the mall after to get food because I'm hungry, and that's what someone does when they're hungry. So I got my food, I sit down, I'm at the food court. Her friends are sitting, like, right there. They're here. We sit all the way, like, by Dick's. So we're sitting there, minding our own business. I'm eating my food. Tell me why her and all of her friends start, like, looking at us and, like, pointing. And my back is turned to them. I don't want to see them. I don't care. My back is turned to them. And Jack's like, oh, they're all pointing at you. Do you want me to say something? And I was like, no, because I don't really care. Like, this is fan behavior, and it's sad. At your big age, you need to grow up. You really do. Okay? Please. Anyways, they were all, like, screaming and giggling. And eventually, they finished their food. I'm still sitting there talking to Jack. And then they all get up. They start giggling, and they're, like, walking, like, in front of, like, my table. And big, beefy Bertha goes, bye, Kim. She, like, screams it multiple times. Like, girl, ain't nobody saying bye to you. Like, if you want to fight, just say so. Other than that, get out of my face. Because do you know how stupid you look right now? Because you look hella freaking stupid. Guys, my streak restarted. Anyway, she DM'd me, I'm pretty sure. She was like, girl, you know, none of the stuff in the video was true. Like, I can name 10 things that you and me both know aren't true. Well, it's true to me because this is what I remember. Okay, this is my memory. Why would it not be true? And she was like, you're victimizing yourself and it looks funny. I was never victimizing myself. It was friendly fire. We went back and forth. Okay? And then she was like, I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed that, like, we let so many people ruin our friendship. Ain't nobody ruin our friendship but you. Partly me too. But still, you ruined it. So shut up and sit down. Stop trying to act like you're on some, like, get off your high horse. And the fact that I blocked your main account and you're watching my stuff off of your spam that I didn't know about is sad. Because I genuinely, like, forgot about you until someone brought you up recently and I was like, dang. I know you watched the whole video, so the frick. Anyways, thanks, guys.
Honestly, I think she was maybe just jealous of you and wanted to cause some negativity in your life. I don't know. Such middle school drama. I'm too old to kind of comment on that. So if you're younger than me and you know more about the middle school drama, please let me know your thoughts down below. But I think she was just jealous of you. That's just my personal opinion.
I caught a bride cheating on her wedding day, and I'm not sure if I did the right thing. I was actually just a +1 to this wedding. Didn't know the bride and groom. The guy who asked me was a guy I'd been on like 3 or 4 dates with. I don't even know why he asked me. It was very clear that we were a situationship, never gonna date. So when he asked me to go to this wedding, I mean, I said yes because I love weddings, but it was a little weird that he was asking me in the first place. So I get to this wedding and I very quickly realized how uncomfortable it is because I don't know anybody and I don't even know my date. Like, this man does not care about me at all. He barely knows me. I think he just didn't want to not have a +1. So he is not paying any attention to me. As soon as we get there, he just drifts off and starts talking to all the people he knows, and I'm just alone. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to make friends. So I have the idea, you know what? I am just going to go to the bathroom and touch up my makeup before the ceremony. Then I don't have to talk to people and make small talk with people that I don't know. Because again, I don't even know where my date is at this point. He's gone. He could have left for all I know. So I'm looking for the bathroom, and let me tell you, nothing was properly marked. There were no signs telling me where the bathroom was, so I'm just fumbling around trying to figure out where I'm going. And finally, I open a door thinking it's the bathroom. Was not the bathroom. It was some storage closet, and in there, the bride was making out with some guy. I'm assuming it's the groom. How do I know it's the bride? Because she's in a giant puffy white dress, and the guy is in a tux. So I just think that before the ceremony, bride and groom are making out. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. Slam the door, and I am so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed at this point. I don't even care about touching up my makeup in the bathroom anymore. I just run back to the ceremony space where everybody is, and I find my date, and I was like, can we just sit down? Can we just wait for this to start? He was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I really just want to pretend that never happened. So finally, the ceremony starts, and the bridesmaids and groomsmen start walking down the aisle. And as they are, I noticed that one of the groomsmen was the man that the bride was making out with in the closet. When I tell you I felt the biggest pit in my stomach when I saw that man starting to walk down the aisle, I was like, that's not the groom. That is not the groom that she was making out with. And I am freaking out because what am I supposed to do at that point? So I do the only reasonable thing I can think to do, and I turn to my date, who again, I barely know, and I said, the bride, yeah, she was just making out with that guy, that groomsman walking down the aisle in the storage closet. He looks at me and goes, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, I saw them making out in the storage closet. So what's going on here? And he looks at me and he just goes, whatever, it's not a big deal, just forget about it. Forget about it, I can't. Then the groom starts walking down the aisle. Yeah, clearly not the man the bride was making out with in the storage closet. The bride walks down. As she's walking down the aisle, we lock eyes. I lock eyes with this woman, and it was the most uncomfortable few seconds of my life when we were making eye contact. And in the part of the ceremony when they say, if anybody has any reason that these two shouldn't get married, speak now or forever hold your peace. She looks at me again. She makes direct eye contact with me. I was like, girl, there's no way I'm standing up in the middle of your ceremony and exposing you. That's not happening. No, I kept quiet. I didn't say a single word, and they got married. After the ceremony, the reception starts, and I just am so stressed out. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the right course of action is. So I decide that I'm going to go to the maid of honor and talk to her. So everyone's having fun. Everyone's dancing at the reception. I pulled the maid of honor aside, and I said, hey, you have no idea who I am, but I need to tell you what I saw before the ceremony. And I tell her, I said, the bride was cheating on the groom with one of the groomsmen. This girl didn't look shocked one bit. She knew. She fully knew what was going on. She looks at me and said, thank you so much for telling me this. I'll make sure that everything works itself out. Don't even worry about it. Go on with your day. You know, basically just shut up. That's what she was telling me to do. After that, I was just tapped out for the night. Emotionally, couldn't do anymore. So I find my date, who I knew I was never going to see again. I said, you know what? I'm going to call Cargo home. He's like, are you sure? Like, no, stay. I was like, I need to go home. And I did. And never spoke to that man again. But I still wonder if I did the right thing. Should I have told the groom or the best man or someone? Because this woman was fully having an affair right before her wedding. And I assume that the groom has no idea. Let me know what you would have done and what I should do. Should I tell the groom still? Like, I don't know.
Okay, so I already know what a lot of people are going to say. She was a plus one. She didn't know the bride. She didn't know the groom. She doesn't know the situation. And yes, she did go to the bridesmaid, but it sounds like the bridesmaid was in on it. She's a bridesmaid, so clearly the bride is her BFF, right? And I understand that, like, she didn't put the two and two together. She thought initially that the bride and the groom were just getting it on before they say I do. And she didn't realize the situation until they were walking down the aisle and she saw the other man and then the bride lock eyes with her. So at that point she knew, and she told her date, and her date was like, oh, don't worry about it. So, which she was a plus one, so they're his friends as well. I don't know if I would have stood up and like made a fool of myself and stopped the whole thing because I didn't know anybody, but I definitely would have at some point told the groom what I saw and who I saw it with, and at that point let him make the decision to confront her, to stay, whatever the case may be. And you could sit there and say, well, you're ruining a wedding. Well, no, the bride ruined her own wedding by making out with one of the guy's best friends, apparently. So she ruined her own wedding, and you're doing it on the day you're saying I do. I don't understand that. Why even do that on your wedding day? Can you not resist? Maybe I just don't understand cheating, and I've been cheated on enough to like hate it, but I definitely would have told the groom at some point. She's a plus one. She didn't know until they were walking down the aisle. So it sucks that he's going to say I do, but I don't know when you sign the papers if you do it before or after. I don't know. What would you do in this situation? Would you tell the groom, or would you just forget about it and let them deal with it on their own? Let me know down below.
So, story time to one time I got left at Aloe with a $1,300 purchase at the cash register. So I was seeing this one guy for a little bit. It was probably like in a month in our relationship. He texted me randomly and he's like, hey, do you want to go shopping today? Like, who am I going to say no? I fucking love shopping. Mind you, I was prepared to spend my own money. I always spend my own money. Like, it's not a problem. I just figured, yeah, we're going to go shopping here and there. Before I continue this, I also want to say that I am a Lulu girl through and through. Like, it is what it is. Okay, so this man always would throw in my face, like, oh, Lulu's for little girls, like, Aloe's for grown women. I would always be like, okay, dude, whatever. Like, I'm annoyed with you. You're annoying me. So anyway, we are at the mall and he's like, oh, like, let's go to Aloe. Like, let's get a few things. I'm like, okay, like, sure, I'll check it out. Okay, I wasn't really an Aloe girl at the time or whatever. So we walk in there and he's instantly running in that bitch, like, picking out things. Okay, like, this is cute, this is cute, this is cute, this is cute. And then the lady comes out to us like, oh, do you need a dressing room? He's like, yeah, she needs a dressing room. So we get in the dressing room and he has piles of clothes for me in there. Okay, and in my mind, I'm like, is he just being really generous right now? Like, if that's the case, like, absolutely, I will take a new wardrobe from Aloe. And if you don't know what Aloe is, it's a very fucking expensive workout line, okay? Or whatever, Pilates line, whatever they have. So anyway, I'm trying on things like literally left and right. Like, he is literally dressing me up like I'm his little Barbie doll. Okay, was I into it? Hell yeah, I think it's hot. This man is spoiling me today. Again, I was not expecting it. So before all of you come in my comments hating on me, I was not expecting it. I was gonna buy myself something. Okay, it is what it is. But at that moment when he's picking all this shit for me, I'm expecting him to pay for it. So anyway, like, literally, like, trying this on, trying that on. He's like, no, you have to try this on, you have to try this on, you have to try this on. He's making me try on gym shoes, like, everything and everything. This sports bras, leggings, zip-ups, everything at Aloe. Okay, so after he literally picked out my whole fucking wardrobe, did he ask me if I liked any of it? No. He's like, you're getting that, you're getting that. I was like, okay, whatever, you're paying, I don't care. And we walked to the cash register and she's starting to scan everything, like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a pretty hefty price tag at the end of this, but whatever. As she's about to give us our price, he literally dips. Okay, yeah, he dips and goes to the men's section that he wasn't at the whole time we were there. And she tells me the price. It was about $1,300. And I literally wanted to cry. Once again, I was not expecting anything. But if you're picking out a whole fucking wardrobe for me, you're paying for it. So, you know what I did? I took it on the chin. I paid for it. Should I have not done that? I should have walked out, maybe. But you know, that's not the type of person I am. These girls that were working for like the last 2 hours at Aloe trying to like pick everything out for me, like we're probably gonna expect a hefty ass commission check. Yeah, I paid it with my money. It is what it is. You know what? I took it on the chin and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll like these outfits. I hate them all. Okay, I barely wear anything that I bought that day, but whatever. So we went to eat after we were at Aloe, and I was just remember sitting at the booth, and I wanted to cry. I wanted to bawl my eyes out. He didn't say anything about it. Nothing. I just had 2 fucking big ass bags of Aloe sitting right next to me. Anyway, so yeah, I ended it with him like a month after that, and also proves to you that I'm not that type of girl. I gave him a fucking chance after that because you know what? I was like, maybe you just had a moment. Like, I don't really know what the situation was. Like, you know, he was a successful man. He had his shit together. I just found out that he was a cheap ass. He was a cheap ass. But yeah, so like a month after that, his ex, I don't know if she like popped up on my feed or what it was, which we have mutual friends, whatever. Beautiful girl. You know, I saw a picture of her in the same Aloe outfit that he picked out for me. Really same color, same t-shirt, crop t-shirt with leggings and, you know, white sneakers. You know, at that point, I don't know if that was like creepy or what his sitch was. Don't know. But that was just the craziest thing that happened to me, to be honest with you.
So the police came to my house this morning. So I hope your morning is going better than mine is. I was quite literally in my pajamas still making breakfast and the police knocked on the door. I knew when I woke up this morning, I just knew something was gonna happen. The doorbell rings. Honestly, we get a lot of packages delivered to our house, but most people don't ever knock or ring the doorbell. Oh, I literally forgot to scan my face on gently. That's how just discombobulated I feel this morning. And then they ring the doorbell again. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, why is he so persistent? Maybe he needs like a signature or something. So I go look for the people and I can't see anything. I see a person standing there, but I can't see who he is or like, and it's a police officer. He tells me who he is and that he works for the police department. And I'm like, okay, why are you here, basically? In that instant, my mind is just playing back, like, what is going on? Why on earth could there be a police officer here? He then tells me that my burglar alarm is going off. We do have a alarm system that we don't ever use. And so at 7:30 this morning, one of my children, they were messing with it. As a kid, you know, you just have to mess with things. And so they were messing with it. I was upstairs going to the bathroom, and then I heard the alarm going off, but I ran downstairs to turn the alarm off. But I didn't know that they had actually pushed the burglar alert system thing. And I guess that automatically alerts the police department. So it did take them like over an hour to get to my house. So I'm like, well, if there really was a burglar, like, you sure didn't hurry over here. Where it's plugged in, I can't unplug it and put it somewhere else where they can't reach it because it has to be like in that specific spot. And so I just had to tell them, like, don't mess with this. So yeah, I just apologized and I said, you know, thanks for coming anyways. Like, we're totally good. Like, sorry to waste your time, basically. But yeah, he just said that they're like, when it goes off, like, they're instantly alerted and they're required to come check on us. So yeah, that's the story of why the police showed up to my house this morning.
I'm gonna give y'all a crazy ass 304 story time, so listen up. But first, I'm gonna introduce myself because a lot of people I notice on TikTok don't know who I am. So if you know me in real life, you know me. If you don't and you know me from Now That's TV, you know everyone calls me Barbie. I'm 24, born and raised in Florida. I live in Miami, Florida, and yeah. But yeah, due to like the work that I do, I'm not gonna give out like no other information about me. So anyways, about 1.5 years ago, I had lived in this house. I don't live in that house anymore. I moved to a different house, but this girl had messaged me. She had been messaging me, sliding up on all my stuff for like 2 years straight. Never got a follow back, never got a hey, hi, never got a reply out of my story she was sliding up to, commenting on, all that. This girl had messaged me one day and she was like, hey, I'm coming to Miami. I have a big like client to see there. And if you let me stay at your house, I really been wanting to meet you. You're so beautiful. Like, I fuck with you and your vibe and da da da. If you let me stay at your house, I'll break you off. Like, whatever I get from the tea while I'm down there, like, he's a big tea. And usually like my normal self would have been like, hell nah, like, girl, go on about your business. But the girl had sent me her number. I randomly replied one day and will call you. I FaceTime her. Mind you, she's got one picture on Instagram. So when I FaceTime her, I thought a man answered the phone. I was like, who is this? And she was like, oh girl, it's me from Instagram, da da da. And I'm like, oh babe, like you look different. And she sounded like a man too, like deep voice, like deep, like scary, like. So she's like, yeah, I got a flight for tomorrow. I'll be in Miami. Just text me your address, or you can come pick me up from the airport and da 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 da. And I'm like, girl, could you just meet me somewhere and then like we can go back to my house? And she was like, yeah. So she came to the airport and she Ubered to like a gas station halfway from like where my house was. I picked her up from the gas station. She was sitting outside of the gas station, literally on the curb, with like big ass bags. And as soon as she got in my car, it stunk so bad, y'all. And I mean, like, this wasn't like a regular stink. Like, it smelled like a dead body. Like, it was so gross. And the first thing she said, well, I gotta shower. Like, I gotta shower as soon as I get to your house. Like, my client's waiting on me and da 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 da. And I was like, okay, girl, like, go get that money. Like, and you do need to shower because you stink so bad. So boom, she gets to my house. She showers. She goes and sees her client or whatever. So she says, she texted me and she's like, hey, I'm on the way back now. Like, can you leave the door unlocked? Da da da. And I was like, just text me when you get here. Mind you, I got cameras all around my house, so I knew when she was gonna come back anyways. I have cameras in my room. I have cameras everywhere in my house. So the girl texts me and she's like, hey, I'm at the door. I'm like, okay. I open up the door and she's barefooted. Mind you, first night meeting her, she's barefooted. I'm like, where's your shoes? Because did you walk here? Like, where's your shoes? Like, you're not about to come in my house with all that stuff on your feet and walk through my house and get in my shower. And she was like, oh, I just robbed my tea, da 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 da. And I'm like, and you came straight here? Like, is he following you? Like, why are you barefooted? Like, she wasn't giving me nothing. She was on the phone talking to somebody saying, I just robbed him for a rollie and I just da 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 da. And at that point, I'm like, you already stink, okay? And like, I just don't like this. So the next day, she wakes up, she's in my guest bedroom. And she tells me like, oh, I gotta go turn in this watch that she took from the tea or whatever. She's like, I gotta go to my jeweler. So I'm like, okay, girl. So while she's gone, I call my friend and I'm like, yo, come over here because I want to go through this girl's stuff that's staying at my house. And she was like, girl, who? And I'm like, honestly, I don't even know her name. She said her name was like Amaya or something. I forget what her name was. But bitch, if you see this, you stank so bad. I'll never forget that smell ever in my life. And you was a strung out ass junkie, and I understand why you have bullet holes in you. So anyway, so I call my friend and I'm like, please come over here. Like, I want to go through this girl's stuff while she gone and I don't know how long she gonna be gone. So my friend's like, okay. She come over. We're going through the girl's stuff, like everything, like pulling everything out. It stinks so bad, like, ugh. And then we find this blue residue in the bottom of a bag with a cut up McDonald's straw. And I'm like, that's it, bro. She does that. I know what she does. I can't say it on here, but that's what she does. She be blues. So I'm like, this makes sense. Like, she's a junkie. So the girl come back, and I told her that I had to go out of town, that I had a call out of town and that she had to go. And she was like, oh, my baby daddy and my son just flew down here. This is the next day. She stayed with me one night. She's like, my baby daddy and my son just flew down here and they finna come pull up and get me or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, what about the money? Didn't you just go to a jeweler and get the money for the watch? Like, are you about to break me off? Da 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 da. That girl gave me the runaround so bad. I don't think she ever took a watch. I think that she might have robbed somebody for some blues in Miami and then ran back to my house with no shoes on, because she came back with no shoes on, high as hell, and just looked like she ain't have not a dollar, talking about she stole a rollie. Where's it at? You went to the jeweler and came back. Where's the watch at? Where your watch at? Like, girl, she just capped about everything. Like, everything that came out of her mouth was a lie. She stunk. She was a junkie. She came to my house barefooted. She said that she saw a trick outside, a Mexican, and he paid her $200. Girl, nobody's giving her even $200. I'm telling you, like, this was a man. This was a man, a stinky man. So I get the girl to leave my house, finally. She said somebody's coming to pick her up, her son, da da da. Come to find out, this girl ain't never had no son. She don't have a kid. She don't have a baby daddy. She told me that her baby daddy had a cousin in the NFL or something, and he lived in a mansion, and like just told me all this stuff, and she was lying about all of it. So tell me why one of my 304 videos, mind you, I didn't tell this girl nothing about me, Nothing. Because for one, you're crazy. You look crazy. I'm not telling a crazy bitch none of my business. I was just in it for the money, okay? I have a house of my own. She didn't have nothing. So boom, why do one of my videos go viral off of TikTok on Instagram? And I see her nasty ass in the comments talking about, oh, this is such and such. She live in Miami with her mom and drives a busted up Maserati, some other shit. I'm like, is that my mom? A busted up Maserati. Babe, you got in my car like, oh my god, your car is so nice. I love the peanut butter interior. Oh my god. Girl, you slid up on my stories for 2 years straight and never got a reply. Fanned out. Needed a place to stay when you came to Miami. Didn't have an ID to get a hotel. But you're talking about me? I'm surprised she even knew my first name. I didn't know I told her my first name. All in the comments talking shit. I was flabbergasted. I replied and said, didn't you come to my house barefoot and screwed a Mexican outside for $200? Girl, leave me alone. And I mean that respectfully. Leave me alone. And another thing about this girl, she goes, look at my stomach. I still have a bullet in my stomach. This girl shot me after I fought her. Well, I would too, bitch, because you look like a man. Like, and after she left, I had to literally wash my sheets. I think I threw the sheets away, but I kept the comforter and washed it 3 times. 3 fucking times. That smell would not go away. I'll never forget it.
Ready with me to find out if my boyfriend is cheating on me or not? We were supposed to go to a concert for my birthday. Well, it's not my birthday anymore, but it was a birthday present, and he's been hyping it up for like a month and a half. But unfortunately, our relationship kind of hit like a rough patch in the middle of all this, so we went on a break. However, it's not the basic normal kind of like, yeah, we're going on a break, like we're not talking right now, like whatever the fuck. I don't believe in that. So instead, we set up like rules and boundaries of what we expect from this break. Something that I said specifically was that we're still gonna talk to each other, we're still gonna like see each other, we're still gonna be committed to each other even though we're technically not together, if that makes sense. But anyways, we're supposed to go to the concert today. So I texted him this morning saying, hey, like if you still want to go to that concert, we can, like it's fine, you know, like fine by me, just let me know. He didn't respond. He left me on red and I was like, oh. Okay. So then he calls me and he starts telling me, he's like, yeah, my dad, he's just being like a bitch about it and he just wants me to like bring someone else or take my mom, like he just doesn't want me to take you. I am clearly obviously upset about this. Obviously. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine, go have fun, I don't care. If you're lying to me though, I really don't appreciate that. He blocks me. He blocks me. So you know what that means? We are going to drive down there early. We're going to wait outside of the booth, right? Now, if he was telling the truth and he is bringing his mother, obviously I'm not going to cause a scene and I'm just going to be like, okay, cool. I'm not going to say anything and I'm just going to walk out. Simple as that. However, if he did, I'm calling his ass out. I did not spend all this time in this relationship just for it to end this way. Without me getting a little bit of revenge. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think. Is he cheating or is he not cheating? Well, cheating. Is he or is he not seeing another girl? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, bye guys.
I'm doing the full story on how our daughter was unable to change her feminine hygiene products because her male teacher popped in. So for this particular teacher, he doesn't let them go to the bathroom during certain times of the day. So if it's during work time, he doesn't want them to go to the bathroom. So she had to go to the bathroom urgently and she went. Now in this class, she is supposed to sign in and sign out. For another class, she doesn't have to sign in and sign out. I don't know if she forgot or what, but she said it was urgent, so she went to the bathroom. Now, when she got to the bathroom, she gets into the stall. She realizes she needs to change her pad. She cleans herself up and goes, washes her hands, and checks the pad dispenser to see if there's any pads, which there was not. So she is kind of situating herself because she needed to go grab a pad from her backpack. And that is when her teacher calls out her name and she says, yeah. And he pops his head in and he says, what are you doing? And kind of like one of those gotcha moments, caught you doing something you weren't supposed to do. But in reality, she was like just kind of trying to make sure she was like situated so she could walk back out into the hall, grab what she needed and come back. When he asked what she was doing, she did not respond. She was embarrassed and she felt like she didn't want to talk about that with her male teacher. She doesn't even want to talk about that with her father. He does tell her that he's not raising toddlers or preschoolers or something of that sort, and that it's not his fault that she forgot her tablet and she needs to go back to the room and sit down and start reading a book. Some clarification about the bathroom. So the entrance to the bathroom does not have a door on it. There was no like pushing a door open at all. You go like into the entrance and then you have to turn a corner, I believe, and like the stalls are when you turn the corner, and that's also like where the mirror, the pad dispenser, stuff like that is. So to my understanding, there's no way that they would have made eye contact had he not at least briefly been inside the girls' bathroom. I want to be clear, he did not full body come into the bathroom, but I still find it very inappropriate. He left his class and he followed her to the bathroom and even poked his head in. That's just too far. He was not in the stall with her or anything like that. I just want to make that clear. But that being said, I don't think that had to happen for the situation to be considered inappropriate. It was inappropriate. When her father talked to him, he was very apologetic to him. But he has not apologized or even said a single thing to her about the situation and how it was inappropriate.
To me, I think this is very inappropriate, and I don't understand how he still works there. The fact that he left class to go follow her to the bathroom like she was doing something she wasn't supposed to. Like, even at 38, like, if I start my period in public and I don't realize, and, like, my mom or my daughter's like, Mom, you're bleeding, or something like that, you know? Like, it's embarrassing, even as an adult. So, the fact that she's young and she had an emergency at school, and for a male teacher to follow her to the bathroom and poke his head in and call her name, how does he still have a job? Let me know your thoughts about this. Because to me, like, this angers me because I have a little girl, and if her teacher ever did that, that would be his last day in class. And the fact that he's only apologetic to the father and has not apologized to her is messed up, and he needs to apologize. He needs to be fired because what was your reasoning? Like, there's no good reason why. You didn't catch her doing anything. Like, maybe if you would have caught her doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing, but she had an emergency as a young girl in school. What is wrong with people?
One time I dated this guy and I suspected him of cheating simply because he just added a girl on Facebook when he went out of town for a work trip. And so in my mind, instantly, I knew he had cheated on me with her. So my master plan was to recreate her entire Facebook page. This took months, by the way. I recreated her Facebook page by using her profile photos. I was just copy pasting anytime she would update a status. I made a new page and updated my status as well because I knew he was following her. Again, this took months. Until we decided to go on a family vacation with his family. And while on the family vacation, I don't know why I decided to break it to him then, that she messaged me. But I was sitting at the dinner table. I was unhinged, okay? I'm just going to say that now. My frontal lobe wasn't fully developed. I was a child, so please, I have learned from my mistakes. However, it is iconic. So anyways, while I was at this dinner table on his family's trip, I sent myself a message from this Facebook page to myself saying, "Hey, girly." I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I proceed to start crying at the dinner table, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I just got this message. We need to go talk. So we go into like our hotel that we're staying in, like our room, and I show him that the girl messaged me, and I was like, you cheated on me with her. And let me tell you, this man was freaking baffled. He was like, what? He was like, how did she find you? Anyways, long story short, he did cheat on me with that girl. I was right. He was more shocked at the fact that she had found my page and messaged me. And then when we drove home, because I made him leave the family vacation that day. Again, don't know why, but I made him leave the family vacation with me that day. And in the car ride home, I was on aux. I don't know why. And the entire car ride home, I played Fake Love by Drake on repeat, full blast, singing it at full volume the entire like hour and a half drive home.
Okay, quick story time about how girls can be so fucking weird. The other day, I was invited to go to Chez Margot in New York City. If you know, you know. It's already a weird place to begin with. My friend from Miami was down, so obviously I'm gonna bring her along with me. I get to this dinner. My friend who invited me isn't there yet, so it's just me, this girl, and this guy, my friend. And I've never met them before, but I'm just super nice. I'm like, hi, how are you guys? You know, just the normal. They did look like they were together because they were sitting super close, but you never know. Either way, I'm not trying to step on any toes, so I'm not trying to speak to this guy because she did seem a little overprotective over him, but I don't know. Anyways, throughout the night, this girl is so fucking weird. I don't know what her problem is with me. I have no fucking idea, but we're sitting down and it starts like this. The first incident is she goes, oh my god, you know, you're like really smart. I thought you were so stupid when I first met you. You mean 2 seconds ago when I said, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Probably like 5 words. You thought I was stupid from that? Okay. No, I let it go. I try to take it as a compliment in a way because I'm just trying to have a good night. So I was like, oh, haha, like laughing it off. That's so funny, you know, whatever. Then the guy she was with walks away to go to the bathroom, and the other guy also walks away with him. I don't know if they were going to the bathroom together or what it was, but either way, they both had left the table. This girl turns to me and she says, I quote, I didn't dress sexually like you did because I'm not trying to impress the guy. Let's name him Andrew. I'm not trying to impress Andrew. You think I'm trying to impress Andrew? Because I wasn't. And I didn't dress this way for Andrew. But you know what? Now you're starting to piss me the fuck off. Then me and my friend, we start talking Portuguese to each other because there's an incident going on and it's personal. We're talking like very quietly. She's talking to the guy. The other girl's talking to the other guy. We're just all talking to each other. This bitch somehow overhears and starts yelling in Spanish, like making fun of Portuguese. And my friend goes, we're speaking Portuguese, not Spanish. And she's like, it's the same thing. And like being so loud and obnoxious and like drunk. She's had way too many drinks. So I let that pass. I give her a pass. I'm like, okay, friend, like it's fine. You know, she thinks it sounds similar. It's all good. She's like, ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Like yelling it like that. My friend's already starting to get a little annoyed. I can tell. At this point, I'm annoyed too. Anyways, let it slide. So then, this is like the cherry on fucking top. We're all sitting at the table and she looks at everyone and she's like, aren't her fake titties just so nice? You know, I would have admitted it, but since you pissed me the fuck off, now I'm not gonna. Because that to me was the last fucking straw. So I look at her and I was like, what fake tits? My titties are real. And my friend's backing me up. She's like, yeah, she's had these titties since high school. What are you talking about? Thanks, friend. And she's like, well, I work at a plastic surgeon surgery office. I don't know how to say plastic surgeon office. Whatever. My Portuguese and English, sometimes they don't get along. And she said, and I know when titties are fake, you probably had them over the muscle. And I know damn well what over the muscle means, but like I said, she had pissed me off. So I look at her and I go, what's over the muscle? And she goes, ooh, girl, you're smart. You're smart. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. At that point, I thought she was going to ask to like feel my boobs, which I wouldn't even care because they're squishy and fucking wonderful. Me being a pick-me. But she didn't. But even if she had, I would have said, no, bitch, I don't fucking know you because now you're pissing me off. Either way, it was like a whole thing. She started yelling, you have fake tits, like, why are you lying, da-da-da. And I just got up because I was like, oh my god, I'm trying to like find someone else that was at Chez Margot. But yeah, don't be that girl. Don't be weird. She didn't say, oh, look at her fake tits, they're so nice, to be nice. She said it in front of everyone very loudly. And also like calling me stupid and then saying that thing about what I was wearing. It's just, It's not cute, babe.
Get ready with me while I tell you about the craziest time I met someone's mom for the first time. Buckle up. So a little backstory, I was a freshman in college. I was on the college cheer team and I had met this guy, I'm gonna call him Todd, and me and Todd had hung out a few times, nothing serious. So it was football season and we had a away game that I was cheering at, so we went to the game and he had told me he was gonna go to the game and I was like, okay. It was a ginormous stadium, so I did not think I was even gonna see him, and my family came, so obviously I thought I was gonna ride home with them. Well, after the game, he somehow found me, which was fine, but then he asked my mom if I could ride home with him, and it was like a 4-hour drive home, and I was like telling my mom, like giving my mom the signal. She didn't catch on, so she's like, yeah, sure, that's totally fine. I was like, oh my gosh. So before we drove home, he was like, I really want you to meet my family, and I was like, please no, like literally please no, because they lived somewhere up there. But I'm too nice, of course. So then I was like, okay, sure, yeah. And so we drive like, I don't know, maybe like 30-45 minutes away, like further away than we already were. And we pull up to his house and he gives me no warning, none, about anything his mom was gonna say, nothing. So I was like, okay, this should be fine. Usually I can pretend and act like I'm having a good time, whatever. So we go into his house and immediately it's like so awkward. There's no one in there, and so I'm like, okay. And he's like, no, they're home. They're just in their room. And I was like, okay. So we go to their room, which I just feel like is disrespectful. I don't really feel like I should be in a parent's room, especially the first time meeting them. But whatever. So then we walk in there and his mom's like laying in bed and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, you're fine, whatever. And we were just having like small talk. And then it gets brought up that she was hit by a semi in her Tesla. Sorry, that's not funny. But anyways, then she starts telling me how she is going to get a new Tesla and how they're going to pay for it and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, yeah, but she had to have a few surgeries from it, I guess. And she's like, it set me back for my weight loss surgery. And I'm looking at this lady like, you are literally the tiniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Literally smaller than me. And I was working out at least 3 hours a day. Like, okay. And she was like, yeah, my doctor told me that I need to gain 5 more pounds before I can have another weight loss surgery. And I was like, oh, wow. And she was like, yeah, I'm 95 pounds right now. Okay, like, what am I supposed to say to this? So then we get off that topic, and then she's like, let's go get something to eat. And I was like, yes, get me out of here. So on the way to get something to eat, he's driving, Todd, and I'm in the passenger seat, and she's in the back middle. And she's like talking to me and she's like, yeah, we're going to the Bahamas next week. And I was like, oh, that's so fun. Like, good for you. And she was like, yeah, so on Monday I have my eyelash appointment. On Tuesday I have a nail appointment. On Wednesday I have a hair appointment. And on Thursday I'm getting a spray tan. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Good for you. Like, I literally have no idea what to say. She's talking about herself like she's the queen of England. It's insane. So then she's like, who does your eyelashes? And at the time I was obviously a broke college student. So I was like, oh, I do them myself. And she's like, oh. And she's like, well, who does your nails? And I was like, I do my nails. She's like, so do you self-tan too? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, maybe you should get that professionally done because it's a little orange. I was like, okay. So then I'm like, this is already not going good. Like, what? And she's just telling me like, yeah, I know, like, you're a broke college student and whatever, but you really should look into like getting things professionally done. And I was like, I don't need to, but thank you. So then we get to the food place and she's like telling me about how her oldest son was supposed to go pro for football, but he like got hurt his freshman year of college and it was a career-ending injury. I don't know. She loved to talk. But then she was telling me how Todd had like all these scholarships for soccer and that he was gonna go play soccer in college. And I was like, our college doesn't even have a soccer team, a boys soccer team. So what do you mean? And then she was like, oh yeah, but like he had all these offers when he was 11, but he decided not to play. So, and I was like, no, you didn't. At 11, no, we didn't. Anyways, at this point, I'm like, I just want to eat my cup pop and GTFO because I'm sick of this. But no, she wanted to go get ice cream. So we go to the ice cream shop. So I'm thinking like, I'm a little bit annoyed, but whatever, it can't get any worse, right? Right? No, it can. So we get to the ice cream shop and a girl walks in and she's like hugging this girl, like telling her how much she loves her and she misses her and she hasn't seen her in so long. And I was like, I have no idea who this is. Well, then she comes up to me and she's like, oh, I almost said his name. Todd, you need to go talk to her. And he was like, no, it's okay. Like, it's okay. And she's like, that's his ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, okay. So it's already awkward because the ex-girlfriend's like looking at me like, who are you? Like, rightfully so. She has no idea who I am. I had no idea who she was. And she's just thinking I'm the new girlfriend, but really, I just wanted to be out of there. Anyways, so then we like leave, and I was like, that was so awkward. But then he like reaches over and is like holding my hand, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But his mom's in the back, and she's like, mind you, I am in my college cheer uniform still because I didn't bring any clothes to change out of. But she starts telling me that this ex-girlfriend was so insanely good at cheer, and she was supposed to go D1, and she was the most amazing cheerleader she's ever seen, but then she had an accident as well, which is also a freaking wild story in and of itself, but that she couldn't go cheer. And then she was saying how she's getting back into it. Mind you, it's like, I don't know, maybe like August, September, and she's like, yeah, she's gonna try out for the cheer team. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, she was still in high school, and I was like, shouldn't she already be on the cheer team? Like, the season has started. I genuinely did not think that it could get any worse. She's literally saying how this girl is the best cheerleader ever while I'm in my D1 college uniform. Like, okay, whatever. So it does get worse. Then she starts saying how they were supposed to be together. They were meant to be. If it was truly meant to be, then they will come back into each other's lives. And she really just loves her and misses her so much. And she was so happy that she was able to see her. And I was like, ma'am, your son is literally trying to hold my hand right now in front of you. I still haven't gone to eat yet. So I cheered a whole game, go to their house. I still haven't eaten. So we get back to their house, and she's like, oh my gosh, her and her husband start arguing over something. And she's like, every time we argue, I just have these seizures. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, ever since my accident, every time I get like stressed out or something, I just start seizing. And so I was like, okay. She sits down on the couch by me. Todd leaves, and he's like, I need to go pack some things up. And she literally starts seizing next to me. I was genuinely like, this cannot be real. This whole day, like, what is going on? No, it was real. And then her husband comes and sits by her and is like comforting her, and I'm just like petting their little dog, like, hey buddy, like, what am I supposed to do? So then like the older son comes upstairs, and he's like freaking out, like literally on the verge of tears. He's like, oh my gosh, mom, like so scared. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And then he like turned to me, he's like, I'm so sorry, like this happens all the time, but you can just get out of here. And I was like, yes. I'm like, I'm gonna go find Todd. So I like walk in his bedroom. I'm like, your mom is seizing right now. He's like, oh really? I'm like, yes. Like, are you is this normal? So then a few minutes go by, and he's like, are you ready to go? I'm like, please. And so we go tell him bye, and she's like, it was so nice to meet you. Mind you, she's completely fine. She's like, it was so nice to meet you, like, you're welcome back anytime. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Well, deep down, I'm like, I'm never seeing you again. Anyways, we still had a 4-hour drive home. Yeah. So immediately I get in the car, and he was like, I'm so sorry. Like, that has never happened before. I don't know why she said all that stuff. I'm sorry she seized. I'm like, it's okay. Like, what am I supposed to say? And then I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work. And I should have honestly probably waited until we were closer to home, but I was like, no, this is not gonna work. And he was like, no, I'm sorry, it's totally fine. Like, I was like, it's not fine. And he was like, we'll do a redo some other time. I'm like, sir, no, please, no. Anyways, I pretended to fall asleep for like probably 3 hours of the drive. It was horrible. And then we got home, and his mom sent him a text like, I loved getting to meet Oakley. It was so nice. Like, tell her I said hi. And I was like, tell your ex-girlfriend that. Anyways, I never saw her again, and honestly, probably for the best. And I wish them well.
Story time about how I got my pictures taken while I was in the women's room. I'll explain. So me and my mom were at this outdoor mall area, and it's like we're pretty expensive designer places, but they also have like places to eat that are nice. And we're walking around for a little bit, and then we decide to go and get something to eat at this like all natural place. Like, they only sell healthy stuff. So we go in, and as we're in there, I start noticing that this girl is like staring at me, and I don't know why. I'm like trying to figure out why like she's staring at me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a second because maybe I'm going crazy. So then after like, I'm gonna say 15 minutes of this going on, and like every time I look up, I can just sense it, and I see her like literally staring at me. Like, so I alert my mom because I'm like, Mama, this girl is staring at me, can you tell me if I'm tripping? And she's like, where? And then I point to the girl, and like, but I do it discreetly because again, she's staring at me, so she knows I'm talking about her, probably. And they're sitting like across from us, but like across from us diagonally, like, you know? Okay. And so I tell my mom, and she's like, what the heck? Yes, she is. And like my mom peeps that she's staring at me. But when my mom starts looking, the girl like does the little thing, you know, that people do like when they're caught. Okay? And I know y'all could be like, well, maybe she was just admiring you, but this is where the story starts to get like actually weird, because my mom starts freaking out because my mom does not play like that. And she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna say something. I'm like, Mom, please just leave it. Like, I don't want to make a scene. And my mom is like very protective over me. She has been my whole life. Anytime I tell her like a teacher was mean or like a vibe of someone was off, she'll like confront them. And, like, she'll get really mad. And I did not want that to happen in front of all those people, because my mom does not play like that. And she does not care. Like, she'll do that. So I start scarfing my food down, trying to get my food finished as fast as I can. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to use the restroom. So I tell my mom. She's like, if this girl doesn't stop, like, I'm going to say something. And I'm like, Mom, let's just, like, can we just try to, like, hurry up and get out of here? So before then, I go to use the restroom, right? And I notice when I get up, in my peripheral, I see this girl getting up, because I'm getting up, walking to the bathroom. The bathroom's like over there. She sees me. She stands up. I kid you not, stands up like as I'm walking to the bathroom. And I go in the bathroom, and I go in a stall, and I hear the door open behind me, and I know it's that girl. I know it is. But it's like, you know when you go into the bathroom and you can hear somebody open the door and then close it and lock it? I never heard that. So I'm like, okay, she didn't even go into a stall. She literally didn't go into a stall. Because there was like 3 stalls in that restaurant. And I would have heard the door close and lock, and footsteps, but I never heard that. Like, as soon as the door opened, like, the footsteps just stopped. Okay, and I'm in the first stall. I remember exactly, I was in the very first stall that I saw. And she just stops, and I'm like, what the heck? And, like, you know how, like, there's cracks in the women's bathroom and you can low-key see people sometimes? Well, this bathroom, it didn't really have that. Like, the cracks were they're pretty much sealed, but I couldn't, like, tell, like, because I couldn't see anything. But, you know, maybe somebody could see me. I don't know. I'm not going to assume that, though. So then I get out of the stall, and the girl is standing directly in front of my stall. Just as I thought. Like, she was literally standing, holding her phone like this at me. And like, at this point, she wasn't even trying to be discreet. Oh, I forgot to say something. While we were at the table, too, she kept lifting her phone up like that. And I told my mom, I was like, I think she's taking pictures of me. That was, like, how my mom started getting really mad. Because she's like, why is she... Staring is one thing, but, like, starting to take pictures is a whole other thing. And she did the same thing when we're in the bathroom. And I was like, bro, what the freak? And I know y'all are like, why would you not say anything? At that point, I was just like, I need to get out of this bathroom. I wasn't focused on even speaking to this weirdo. I genuinely was like, I need to get out of the bathroom. Because if you're taking pictures of me and you're not even trying to be discreet, at that point, you don't even care. By the way, all of this is happening within a minute span of me being in the bathroom, because I literally got in the bathroom, pushed out my pee as fast as I could, and got out within like a minute. So it wasn't like we were in the bathroom for a really long time, because I was not trying to be in the bathroom with that girl for very long. So I walk out, and of course I didn't look behind me, but I'm assuming that she's following me. So I go to sit back down, and then I notice she sits back down at her table, and then my mom's like, you good? Like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know what the freak... I don't know what just happened. And then I tell my mom and exactly what happened, that like this girl was recording me. I felt like she was videoing me in the bathroom. And my mom is about to pop off, and I'm like, Mom, let's just go. Like, let's get her stuff and go. So then my mom is literally fighting everything not to go scream at this girl. We get our stuff and leave, because my mom already pays and whatever. So we're walking up, bro. As we literally get up, their entire table gets up. The second we stand up, their entire table gets up. And at this point, I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is our luck? Or what, like, genuinely, what is happening? So, yeah, me and my mom rush out of there, and then we go into, like, the closest store, because we're not trying to be around these fools. And then my mom, when we're in there, we don't see the people, so we're like, okay, we're good. And then my mom is like, wait a minute. Is it possible this girl could have recognized you from, like, your YouTube or something? And I was like, maybe. Because at the time, I was really only doing YouTube. And I did have a good amount of following. I will say that. And I was like, maybe, but like, who does that? Like, who does that if they recognize someone? That's giving like different level of weird. You could be like, oh my god, hey, can I get a picture? You don't record someone. Like, everybody knows that. It felt like, I don't know. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Is this considered like a horror story? Because it was very creepy to me. And I don't want y'all in the comments talking about something. This did not happen. Yes, it did. Literally all my stories are real. I don't make up anything. If I did, honestly, like, I'd probably have a lot more stories, but like, my life is low-key crazy. Bye, my loves. Jesus loves you.
Have you ever had a falling out with a friend where you guys literally just never talked again and never discussed the incident? I need to talk about the falling out that I had with one of my best friends who literally ghosted me at my wedding. We've been friends for a couple years and I thought we were really freaking tight. Like, I introduced her to my husband's mom. I introduced her to my family. Like, we were really close. Leading up to the wedding, she started getting kind of weird. And I will say a couple of the friends in the friend group were getting married at the same time. So about like 2 months before my wedding, we went to my friend's bachelorette party, which was in Florida. And she was like a huge BITCH the entire Florida trip. She wouldn't hang out with the girls. She was like upstairs on her phone the whole time. She kept complaining about everything. And she made it very obvious that she was the only single girl there, and she was very disappointed that we didn't want it to be like a clubby bachelorette, but that we all were like wanting it to just be kind of like a low-key girls weekend when she was wanting to go out and talk to guys. Honestly, the entire bachelorette trip, she was giving me super weird vibes. 2 months later, it's my wedding. And she has very strict dietary restrictions. And I had given her a heads up, like, hey, FYI, this is the food that's going to be served at my wedding in case you need to, like, eat beforehand or bring your own meals, just so she was prepared. Well, that wasn't good enough for her. She did stay at my wedding until dinner, and she didn't eat anything. And she spent the whole time complaining to her friends at the table about the food and how she couldn't eat and how mad she was that there was nothing for her to eat. Then dinner wraps up. We haven't even done speeches or father-daughter dance or anything. Like, I literally have just been getting married, sitting down, eating dinner, haven't even talked to anyone yet, haven't talked to her. And she tells our friends, hey, I'm gonna go across the street and grab a bite to eat because we're kind of in a downtown area, and then come right back to the wedding. So she does that and never comes back. And my friends are like tracking her location, and then they pull it up and she's at her house. They're texting her like, hey, is everything okay? She doesn't respond. And of course, I'm like, I'm not gonna say her name, but asking people where she is, and they're just like, oh yeah, she left. And I was like, what? And of course I didn't let it ruin my day, but my feelings were really hurt. I mean, this is one of my best friends. I wanted to dance with her at my freaking wedding. Then a couple weeks go by and I finally reach out to her and ask her if we can meet up and talk. And we meet up for a drink, and I tell her, hey, you know, it really hurt my feelings that you Irish goodbye at my wedding. I really wish I'd been able to see you. She got so defensive and was like, I did absolutely nothing wrong. There was nothing for me to eat. I went back to my car. You wanna know what she says to me? She goes, I did you a favor by leaving, you know, because your ceremony was so emotional. I cried and I went to my car to go get some food, and I saw that I had cried all of my makeup off. And if I had gone back there looking like a hot mess that I did, I would have distracted everybody from your day. I'm not going to apologize to you. I did nothing wrong. And she didn't apologize. Now, my friend whose bachelorette party it was also getting married like a month from them, and they've been friends like their whole life, like since high school. So I was like, listen, okay, you might not think you did anything wrong with my wedding and you don't want to apologize for hurting my feelings, but you're an actual bridesmaid at that person's wedding and you've been her friend since high school. Like, you better freaking show up and be there in the moment as a bridesmaid. No, this girl was even nastier to the other friend. Oh my God. First and foremost, the night before the wedding, the welcome party, she didn't even come out with all of us. Like, it was literally all the bridesmaids, all the friends, all the family. She literally just didn't go out. And she was going to stay the night with the bride, like the night before her wedding at the Airbnb that the bride had. And so all of us bridesmaids, it's like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, and us bridesmaids were hanging out at the Airbnb. And she shows up and she goes, why is everybody here? And we're like, because she's getting married tomorrow. Hello. And she goes, I came here because I thought the bride was alone. Had I known that the bride was having a party with all of your friends, I would have stayed at my house. Bitch, what? Oh my god, here's the best part. She brought the bride like a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne. And we were like, oh my god, what a sweet gift, what a sweet gift. And then she's like, I want to pop it tonight. And the bride's like, you know what, actually I'm not drinking, it's kind of late, you know, I was thinking maybe we save it for tomorrow morning for mimosas. And the friend goes, wow, I brought that and you're not even gonna open it tonight for everyone? And the bride was like, I mean, no, I would like to save it for tomorrow. And it's tomorrow and hair and makeup's being done and I show up to the house and that girl's there and I overhear her talking crap to one of the friends who hadn't been there the night before. Like, wow, I bought this bottle of Dom Perignon for everybody and nobody has said thank you. When really it was a gift for the bride and we'd all given her a bunch of attention saying what a nice gift the night before. So anyways, it's my friend's wedding and guess who disappears? Right after dinner, disappears. No one can find her. I finally find her hiding in like the bachelorette suite, like that's in another building. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I want to go home, but I'm a bridesmaid and I was told I have to clean up. And I was like, girl, just go. Just freaking go. Like, are you kidding with that stank ass attitude? Get out of here. So yeah, she left and I never talked to her again.
I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry, I'm sick. My whole family has been sick all weekend and last week it was awful. So hopefully the kids seem like they're getting better. My mom's getting better. I'm getting a little bit better, but I still have this awful cough. So yeah. It's awful. But let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you had a great weekend and have a good week.